And I know for a fact there's more people than me in America are facing the same exact circumstances. And if they think about it in this light, for people who are locked up right now, they might be conscious, have a little conscious moment where it's not like, wow, they're right. You know, and when he said that, more than reading the book, more than talking about a cop or a counselor or a judge or a lawyer, talking criminals who are here right now who live the same exact way. Hey, go listen. Go listen.
We have people from the black community who is coming in here and they are holding a mirror up to us, showing us what the problem is. You are the problem. And as a community, these are the things that we need more of. Responsible men. We need men that's willing to come out here and take care of their families. We need men that's willing to come out here and be examples for these kids who are coming up. So now, as we sit up in these meetings and we start to feel that society is keeping it real, our community is keeping it real with us. So now it's one of those things where, well, what are some things that we need in order to make that transition back to be responsible men?
How can we stop our children from coming to prison?
A strong household.
We can guide them. There's more to love than just getting someone $500 or a new shoes and a new coat.
Quality time with their parents.
If it's not from their parents, it will be from the street.
Love.
We owe it to them, don't we?
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Shepard. Our next presenter is a published and prize-winning writer. He's currently a student of the University Behind Bars Advanced Writing for Publication class. He's the author of The Prison Diary, a book about this prison, published last year by Pygmy Forest Press. He's an award winner of the PEN American Center National Prison Writing Contest, headquartered in my home city, New York. His work is on display at the Anne Frank Center, also located there. Last year, he was one of 9 prisoners in the whole nation honored at the annual PEN American Center benefit reading, where his work was read by the famous author Francine Prose. She is also the president of PEN American Center. Finally, he's the writer and director of the skit you're about to see. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to present the talented Art Longworth.
We wanted to create something that used stories of real University Behind Bars students and prisoners in order to try to convey what the UBB is and what it means to those who are in it. And so this is what we came up with. Classroom number 240 at Westside Community College. This is Mrs. Smith's classroom, and her students have just left for the day.
Hi. Can I get your ride home with you tonight? My car's in the shop.
Not tonight, Bob. I'm sorry. I'm not going straight home. I'm going to have a detour.
Well, date, huh?
No.
Well, then, if you don't mind, I'll go along anyhow. I mean, I've got time, and as long as I get home tonight sometime, I've got a week's worth of papers here to grade, and I can keep myself busy.
Well, it's actually more than a detour. I have to go teach another class.
What? Where?
At the prison. I teach there on Fridays.
Well, I guess our paychecks are a little thin. I mean, I'd get a second job, too, if I had the energy after a full week's work here. Well, but...
Well, why don't you come with me?
Up there? Well, it can't be a very pleasant environment, is it?
Why would you say that?
Well, I mean, you've got murderers and robbers and drug dealers. They can't make for a very positive educational experience. What do they pay you anyway?
They don't pay me anything. I volunteer.
What? How long have you been doing this?
5 years.
I don't get it. What can you possibly get out of this?
Why don't you come with me, Bob?
I don't know.
Why don't you come with me? You can meet my students and then you can maybe understand why I do this.
Oh, maybe.
Come on, they're not that tough a crowd. We'll even make sure you get home sometime, I promise.
All right, well. Always wondered what it was like up there anyway. It's kind of intriguing.
Man, you shoot a game? Watch it, boy. Seahawks. Go Seahawks.
I'll watch the Seahawks.
Yeah. Seahawks.
Hello, students.
Hey, how you doing, Melvin?
All right, this is Bob. He teaches with me at the
Hi,
college.
guys. How
He's
you
going to
doing?
hang out with us tonight, see what we do here. Right, so last week we worked on our writing, and I gave you some homework. Do you remember what it was?
Right, essay.
Yeah, we're supposed to write an essay on why we think education is important.
Yep. Did you do it?
Yeah, Mom.
Great. Would you be willing to share with us? Maybe read it out loud?
I'll read mine. I don't care.
Okay. Drill.
Education is important to me because it is an opportunity that wasn't easy to come by. I realize some people might not understand what I mean by that. They think that every person gets an equal opportunity to go to school and learn. That is only because they don't know what it's like to come from the part of the city where I come from and try to go to one of the schools there. More than half the people I went to school with dropped out by the 10th grade. More than half of them are now in prison, the same as me, which shouldn't really surprise anyone. I know that it doesn't surprise the state. In fact, that's one of the things that I've learned since coming to prison, that is how the state decides how much prison space they're going to need, how many new prisons they're going to build. They're projected from the dropout rates in the schools. Since the majority of those dropouts come from the schools in the part of the city I'm from, I'll leave it to your imagination who fills the prisons. You would think it would be more cost effective to fix what is wrong with the schools than to build prisons, but hey, what do I know? The truth is, there are places in the state where it's more likely that a young person will grow up and go to school than do anything else. I wasn't sure why this was before I came to prison. For all I knew, it was because we just aren't as good as other people. We were born with a greater predilection toward joining the gang, becoming involved in drugs, or committing crimes. But I've thought about it a lot since coming here, and I now believe that what is wrong with us has more to do with endemic poverty and lack of education than anything inherent. And so that is why education is important to me. Not merely because it wasn't easy to come by, but because it's an opportunity that wasn't available before. A door other than the one I went through, the one that led here.
Thank you. That's it?
I was socialized into gang culture when I was very young. I jumped in when I was 12. But the socialization process began much earlier than that. My older two brothers belonged to the gang. Before I was sent to prison, the only people I knew either belonged to gangs or had family members who did. The people I looked up to the most, those I strove to emulate, belonged to gangs, which is significant because gang culture doesn't operate under the same rules the rest of society does. The way you gain influence, elevate your status, and become successful isn't the same. Trying to be successful in the gang world, I didn't get far. I was caught with a pocket full of grand baggies and got 12 years for dealing. That's why I'm here. Education is important to me because it is the only thing I have found that offers an alternative to the life I led before I came to prison. Through it, I am re-socializing myself, widening my perspective by accruing more knowledge and information about life in the world. My vision of success has changed too. No longer does it equate with standing on the streets trying to make money by handing out dope to people who are as poor, as bad off as I am. In fact, that seems really stupid to me now.
Thank you, Vincent. Noel?
Well, you know, mine's kind of the same as Jarrell and Vincent's.
Well, even if it's the same, everyone expresses themselves differently.